Art students, Brian Proctor, the art teacher, back again in the classroom with a new lesson and a new camera up top. So let us begin where we left off at. So let's just do this quick going over the body, parts of the body. You know, you have the head. These are just the parts that you use: head, torso, the waist, the hips, and what I do is the upside down house or home plate. But what I want to start doing is this, kind of like the T. Just flatten that out and then up like that. Makes it a little easier to do that. So if you turn that over, I don't know what shape that'll be. It'll be kind of like doing the upside down house, flattening it off, and then just bringing that up. Just kind of practice with that shape. I'll figure out what that's close to being. So collarbone, delt, oval. And you can do a circle if you want to do, but I don't. And then the cone. So oval, cone, and circle for the hand. Same thing here. Oval, oval. I will do the circle for the knee, cone, and triangle for the foot. Half a triangle. Now the next one after this, we're going to do faces on this one, but the next one after this, heads and faces, is I'm going to do hands and feet. So these are the shapes that you use, and it's just really simple. I'm going to change the way that I do this to show you guys to do this, because I used to have it like that, but I'm going to bring it in and then bring it down. Keeps that stomach more in center line. So remember that, and let's get started with the new thing. Now, I have seen a lot of people's pictures and their websites, and a lot of people have trouble drawing a straight face. So I want to make that easy, try to fix that, make it easy for people so they won't draw crooked faces anymore. And now, there's not such a thing as a perfect face. I know, scientists take the face and they kind of like do all this stuff and mark this out to see if your nose is in the proper perspective and so forth, and this says your face is perfect, but nobody's face is really perfect. Everybody's nose is either your nose is a little big, your eyes are crooked, your mouth is big, nobody has a perfect face, especially when you're doing comic books. It's not going to work. All right, sorry about that. I had somebody at the door. I lost my train of thought. Okay. Again, the perfect face, there is no perfect face unless you're just drawing faces. I've seen people who have websites that just draw faces, beautiful faces at that, because that's what they constantly do, all the time. But when you ask them to draw like an upshot of a face eating an apple, they can't do it. But in comic books, you have to be able to draw all types of faces and all types of angles, and they're not going to be really perfect, so don't really beat yourself down if your face doesn't look perfect, because nobody's face is perfect. So I'm going to show you some guidelines that I use when I draw faces to kind of make your faces a little straighter if you're having problems with drawing crooked faces. So of course, there are different ways that people have you draw faces, and one is like you do the ball and then you do this. But again, in comics, you're not always doing straight faces, and this whole thing is about being able to draw comics, but not just draw comics per se, but draw everything that it takes to draw a comic, because in comic books, you're drawing people, you're drawing animals, you're drawing buildings, you're drawing clothes, you're drawing everything. This is why I like comic books, because I can take the knowledge that I have from drawing comics and go out and do something else. I can do interior design, I can do like landscape drawings, I can do so many things because I know how to draw comic books. So, okay, back to it. So some people will do this, and then some people will just do like the oval and then straighten out the oval, but a lot of times that becomes crooked. So one thing that I like to do to show people is I draw a rectangle. Now you can right off the bat tell if your rectangle is crooked or not, versus something like this. It might go over to the side, or this might be too wide, or that might be too long or something. But if you draw a rectangle, you pretty much got it. So what they also say, drawing your perfect face, is you split it down the middle. You go half, half, and half. So a lot of times people have trouble doing that. So let me show you this with a rectangle. It's just more easier. If you draw an X, first of all, you really don't have to draw X. You can just draw one line. So if you draw that one line here, and then let's just draw the X just for the sake of drawing it. When that center, where those 2 points meet, that is your center of your square, rectangle, whatever. If you're doing something like a building, say like this is building, narrow building, but it's really, 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 really long like that. And you say there is a door. This looks like more like a tractor trailer or a train car. Anyway, and there's a door right there in the center of this. I'm going to go back with building. You just, from this corner to this corner, there's my blue pencil. I said I was going to use 2 colors to make it a little easier. You go from this corner to this corner, try to make it straight with a ruler if you can. From that corner to this corner, there's your center right there, where that X meets, there's your center. So we have the center where the eyes would go. Now let's take this box here. Let's take a line from this space to this corner. Now, where that line touches that, that's your nose. And then where, say, to take all this way over, this to this space, this is where your mouth goes. Now, see, the problem with that is you have no room for your chin. So that kind of debunks that half, half, and half thing, because you need to have room for your chin. So let's just stay with this half, half, and half, and then just go back a little and just drop and give ourselves a chin, a little more chin. So this is what I'm saying. A lot of things they teach us are right for the times, but realistically, you know, if you just draw on a straight face, realistically, there's something wrong with it. So we have this, and we have that. So, all right, so let's get rid of some of these lines that we don't need, these X lines, and we'll just stay with the lines we do need. I'll keep that center line just because. Now, one thing I do is I use other guidelines. Say I'll find the length of my chin, right, like that. I'll find the length of my chin, and then I'll do this line like that. If you can't do that, just do a straight line, straight down to the corner of the chin. I'll usually curve mine, but if you can't, do this curve. So we have my mouth right here. We have my nose right here. So you know that your jawline comes right at this mouth. So you come up like that, and you go like that, and then you have where your jawbone, jawline goes, and then you go up. Now, you figure out the size of your nose, the size that you want your nose. It depends on if you're drawing like Caucasian, African American, Asian. Everybody has a different type of nose. Different type, different size nose. Then I'm going to go up here to over the eye line, the center eye line. I'm going to come up like this and go all the way across. That's going to be your brow, like that. So, and your nose is going to come right up into the brow. So we'll draw like a triangle, not without a point. Without a point, because you want that kind of squared off like that. So you have your eye line right there. So from here, at this point here, where these 2 points come, I'll go up, and that's going to be my temple. That's kind of like showing that your face is now going around. It's going around that way. And so let's round this off. Let's give this more of a head shape. So you don't want to go past this. You want to start here and curve it around to give it that head shape. So this is going to come up, and then you're going to have your hairline. Wherever you want to put your hairline, you're going to curve that around as well. And then where you turn it, where it goes up and it starts to turn at that point, you curve back, and then you got that round head going there. So drawing the nose, what I'll do is I'll do this teardrop like this for the bulbous part of the nose. And then your nostril comes from under there. And it depends on what type of nose. If you want to draw the nostril open, or you just want to draw like the nostril flat. And then also it depends on the angle of the face, the tilted face. Because you have a million noses. Who's to say what is the perfect looking nose? All right, so my eyes are going to be here. So your eye comes, if you draw a line straight up from the length of your nose, this is where your eye starts. And you want to put half of it on top of that line, the other half on the bottom of that line, underneath the bottom of that line. So if you drew like a football, you cut across the middle, there you have it. Now underneath the nose, you have that philtrum. It's that little dip here, the philtrum. And that is going to start the shape of your mouth, because this curve here shapes your mouth. And I stop my mouth right here at these two lines. And then the bottom part of my mouth. Now, if I'm doing a male, I'm not going to connect these. If I'm doing a female, I'm going to connect them. Sometimes it depends. Make that straight. You can have thinner lips. You can have thicker lips. And there's so many different ways to change your character just by just little things like that. So I'm going to give him just a little bit more bottom lip like that. And that gives you a round chin. So that's where you would have to bring that chin down. You have to round that chin off either way. So from that box, or that rectangle that we did, and your mouth is down here, you're going to have to give some chin. You're going to have to give a little bit of chin. So the half, and half works, it doesn't work. So we have this, our nose. Let me start to ink some of this stuff. So I'm going to do my nose like this. We got the bulbous area like this. I'm not going to connect it. And then I'm going to give it just a little bit of nostril there, little nostril there. And so I'm not going to connect it. I'm just going to kind of make it round. I'm going to have my philtrum, my mouth, top lip, and there is a little dip in the bottom lip. Your lips are like, you have your philtrum, you have your mouth like that, and I think there is this kind of shape like that, a little just a different plane, and then you have the bottom lip like that, but you have this little philtrum. And why is it that this light looks crazy? It looks kind of pale. This is a new camera and I haven't really played with it. This is like the second time I filmed with it. The first time I filmed for like 30 seconds just to make sure it would turn. So I'm gonna have to figure out the color. To me, it's not. Yeah, maybe it's the lighting. I don't know. So anyway, we have that, and then we have my bottom lip. I'm gonna put my bottom lip here. And then my eyes. Now you don't have to do the football shape. You can do the serious eye thing, the eye shape. But when you're doing comics, it depends on how small your picture is. I happen to have my book here. You know, how small your face is in the comic book. You know, you're not going to see a lot of detail. You know, especially when you shrink it, you're not going to see that much detail, you know, in a face. Close up, you know, it's different, but when you're doing something really small like that, you know, nobody's going to say, okay, this is not half, and the other half. You just have to get that shape in there and do the best you can with the expression or the tilt of the head and so forth, because a lot of times that does tell the story, the way the body's tilted, and especially the way the head is tilted or leaning forward or back. So let's do this. Let's give him a smaller eye. A lot of times I'll do like the eyes kind of rectangle as well, instead of curving it, because I don't want my eyes open too much. So this is going to, this part where the brow is, you're going to bring that part of the nose up and around. I never do both sides, and you shouldn't do both sides, just one side, and that's going to be where your lashes are. So if you curve that around up here again, your lashes are going to be up on this line. You can bring it down depending on the expression of the person that you do. Now, another thing is, what? I just lost that one. Oh, okay. I want to bring this in. Depending on the type of character I'm doing, I want to bring this in. I don't want it straight down. I want to bring it in just a little bit and then curve around. So you have to kind of play with your rectangle. If I'm doing the body, and you know, he's got his hand up, got his hand down across, and I'm doing this head, you know, you have to get the right size rectangle that you need. That is if you can't do this. If you do this, go ahead and rectangle it and get your center lines straight. And then that will help. So as I say, I curve this in. So let me bring this in. This is, and when we get to the tilt, I'm going to tilt the head. There's a very important part about right here, your jawbone, your cheekbones. So I'm going to bring this in down to the mouth, curve it in, and then bring it round. And we have this. It's going to come in. This is going to be my temple right there. Temples. Yeah. And of course, you know, the ear is from here to the nose, and the ear is just basically an oval, tilted like that and cut off. That's all it is. Hopefully you saw that. This new camera has a bunch of different icons and on the screen, whereas my old camera didn't. So it's covering that. It's covering what I just drew. So from top of the ear to the bottom of the nose, do that. Give this little top piece right there. This piece like this. So kind of like making a Y, an upside down Y. And then the center piece of the ear right here. And then you can, if you want to do the inside, it's just like two little mountains on the inside of the ear. And again, that depends on how big your drawing is going to be. If you're just drawing faces, if you're just somebody that's just drawing big, beautiful faces, you need that detail and you need it to be right. But if you're drawing something small, then you know, there's no way that you can actually try to, you know, make that perfect. I'm looking at the camera, that's why my finger won't get on there. It's just no way. All right, so we have that. Now I'm gonna do something to this other side, but I'm gonna do something here first. So the way I brought this in and curved it around. Now, if I'm doing the average person or average kind of superhero, this is gonna be straight. I'm not going to bring it in. I'm going to keep it straight, and my neck is going to come straight down with it, just like that. And that gives him that more of a stronger look to it, like that. See, whereas this one kind of doesn't, because that chin comes in. If I'm doing somebody like younger and not muscular, I'm going to move that neck in a little bit more, and you can kind of see the difference. Let me use this. You see the difference between, you know, that and that. Brian, look at the picture. Look at the picture. You know, there's a big difference between the neck, between that and that. So now, if I'm going to draw a big, stronger, hulking type character, what I'm going to do, or not so much hulking, but a little bigger, instead of keeping this straight down or bringing it in, I'm going to bring that chin out, or that jaw out more. And then I'm going to bring that neck out along with that jawbone, jawline. And that gives him just a more stronger look to it, more stronger than that. I should have a thinner piece of paper so you can see it easier. I am suffering from a cold this morning. Sleeping under the fan, sleeping with a fan and air conditioner. I always sleep with a fan, but sometimes an air conditioner, if I have it on, it gets me. So again, as I say, you have this versus, right, look at the picture. This versus this. Move your hand so people can see. Again, I could bring that neck out even more. The more you bring that neck out, the more of like a hulking type he's going to be. And another way to do different characters, different things for characters, is the ears. You can have small ears. You can have ears that actually go out. So if you're drawing multiple people, like if you have a team or people in a room together, you can do little things like that. Bring the ear out a little bit more. So, you know, it just helps establish which character is talking or whatever. It just establishes more characters. So let me ink this. So I'm gonna have this line here and this line right there. This little center line, and then just whatever's inside the ear. Everybody's everyone's ears are different as well. So here I have my head, I have my hairline. So from there I can put whatever type of hair I wish to put on the character. And for me, if I'm trying to do some kind of hairstyle, I'll look in a book. If I'm trying to be serious about it, but I will draw the hairline wherever. If I don't want it way up here, I'll bring it down here, that there, and then do whatever I can do to the top. So if his hair is like this, in the top, you never want the hair flat on the person's head unless it's like wet, but even at that. And then you would have your character or characters, different characters. And then you have there are two muscles that come from the neck, pencil that. Two muscles that come out. This forms your neck. And it goes right down to that point, and underneath that you have your Adam's apple. And we'll get into that more when I do the upshot of the character. Upshot of the drawing. So yeah, and then again, you can, with those lines, you can get a little bit of cheekbone if you need, depending on the type of character that you draw, because like mean kind of characters have those, pronounced cheekbones, especially, evil women, they'll have all that. But if I'm doing somebody a good guy, I don't want to put too many lines in their face, because the more lines you put in their face, the older they get. Example, I can do this. This guy just aged a little bit. I can do this. He aged a little bit more. I can do this. Now we got, grandpa with, nice hair and, half a thick neck. So especially with women, you don't want to do that. So let's do a woman real quick, same way. The difference between a female and a male is going to be the chin. Okay, center line. Let's just do this. So this is going to be the center of this, and if your thing has to be right. It has to be. If I put this over here, it's going to be off. If I put this up here, it's going to be off. So it has to be in the center of that. So you should use a ruler. But I'm going to go with this center line. So we're going from here to here, center line, and we're going to go from here to here again. Center line with the mouth. And of course, again, you got to have a chin, and you're going to round this off to take some of this head back. You don't want to have too long of an rectangle. You don't want to have too long. So if you can do this, you say this and this, put that circle in, or put that in a square, and then you can still do this center, and then what was that again? Center, because okay, this is the shape that I want. See, this I would say this might be a little too long, because I'm used to drawing ovals. So anyway, I'm gonna go with this, but I'm going to do the chin and show you the difference. So we have this, we have that. I'm gonna bring that chin. So what I'm gonna do, at the line, that's going to be the jaw. So what I usually do is I'll give that a point. And instead of going straight up, I'll go out just a little bit and then curve into that head. Not out too much, but so I end up with this shape right here. Again, let's say my chin, I'm going to do this. And I usually don't do this with women. I don't do this part with the females. You can, but let's just do it anyway. Just remember, I'm going to give her some chin. So I'm going to do this and this, because already she kind of looks evil when you put those jawbone lines in there. But here's my mouth. I'm doing this just for the distance for the mouth. The nose is going to be right here. I'm going to do the philtrum, a little piece, and then up on top. You don't want to make this too high up. You want to do that. And then remember, this is going to be the top of the head, which I'm going to bring that up a little bit more. I brought it down just to fit the overall shape and size. This is going to come in, as I said, it's not going to go straight down. Then with this philtrum, I'm going to shape the mouth. I'm going to stop on these lines. 27 minutes. I want to still try to keep these 30 minutes. And then the bottom lip, however I want to do the bottom lip. Now again, the female nose, you want to find out how long it's going to be or how far it's going to be. So you want to do that little teardrop again. And then the nostrils. How turned up is that nose for you to see the nostril? And then the wing, the little wing that comes. You can bring it all the way up and curve it down, or you can just leave it minimum. And for females, you just kind of want to, the less nose possible, the best. Because a female's nose is considered ugly in art anyway. Now, I admire those people who can draw the whole female nose and have it look good, but I'm not there. So from here to here, it's going to be my eye or her eye. Now, one thing about the female, I don't put the eye on the line. I take this end of the eye and I bring it above the line, and this part is going to come up to meet it. So here we are, we have this, we're going to stop right here and then bring that there. And it just gives it more of the female look. And I think my line is crooked because if you notice, I draw with my paper at an angle. I don't draw straight. I cannot draw straight and I cannot write straight. I sign my name sideways. It's just how I do. Go back and look at my videos. You will never see me drawing like this. All right, so let's do this and then this. And I always open the female's eyes up more to get that light into the female eye. Again, you want to bring this up, and here is her eyebrows, going to be eyelashes, eyebrows going to be here. Same thing is going to be here. The nose, give it a little more, just a little more nose. The lips, we're not going to put any lines, jaw lines, or anything like that. Not much chin line. Now I can bring that out a little bit more if I want to. You can play with that. And you already have the temple. You can have the hairline. Wherever that stops, I go straight up, and wherever I stop to curve, that's where I go back at. Curve like that, go back. So, and with the Loomis method, I think they have that curve like here and here for the ball. I could never figure that out because I was always used to doing it my own way. Like that. I'm not going to worry too much at the top of the head because I'm going to cover that with hair. It's just the look that I'm looking for. The look that I'm looking for. Yeah, the look that I'm looking for. So with the eyes, I will do, where's my blue pencil? Did it fall on the ground? Or am I just not seeing it? It's right here. For the female eyelashes, I'll go up and then I'll come down like this. Like that. Now I would do a couple extra just to, give it that little touch. But I always do a solid piece. And then maybe, as I say, if I want to, and then you can come down with just a few on the bottom. And the ears, I don't want the ears sticking out too big, too much. Now, before I do the ears, let's go for the neck. Always bring the neck under the chin. Because you don't want a woman with a neck like that. You just don't want that. And the ear, again, here, I keep my ears slim and I keep them in. Sometimes the ears don't really matter if you're going to cover it with hair. And curve this out a little bit. I mean, you can add the, jewelry or whatever you want to add to females. I don't, unless they're just that type of female. Now I think I got influenced with anime a lot. This is why my eyes, especially for females, are so big. And then you do a light source somewhere, same spot. And then you do the pupil. I think it's a pupil or iris. I can never get those right. And then, of course, which I didn't say for the men, I put that little extra piece of skin. The more stuff you put there, the more realisticer it will look. And then I could actually bring this in right here. And that's one thing I say, when you draw something, don't finish it until you walk away from it. Because a lot of times I've drawn stuff, learning to draw, and then I walked away from it. I inked it and got it all right, and like, yeah, man, this is so good. And I walked away from it, and I came back, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so messed up. So yeah, don't finish stuff until you walk away from it. And me just kind of like looking away for a second reminded me to bring this in. But it's still sloping out, but not so much, but it's not straight down. So then I'll put the ears back. Slight little changes to, especially the female face, will make her look better or worse. So by me bringing that in, and then once I have all that, I'll curve this, because a woman's face shouldn't have any sharpness. The female body shouldn't have any sharpness to it. And then, as I say, I will put the hair. Let me ink what I have so far. We have this little teardrop here. And sometimes you can see underneath the chin, underneath the nose, if you want to get that much detail. This, the wing, the nostril, which you won't see too much of. Then we're going to have this, the bridge come around. This is her eyelash, whatever it is, eyelids, eyebrows. And then, sorry, my nose gets to me. I don't mind the other symptoms of a cold, but just the runny nose just bugs me. I'll deal with the headache and the soreness, but the runny nose for me, that is the worst. I'll just do a small one there. And I never really connect the eyes. I always leave that open like that. I think it's a Jim Lee thing. He started doing it, and I kind of like the way I couldn't figure it out at first, how was he doing his eyes, but then the more I studied, I'm like, oh, he's leaving the bottom open. And that just makes it look like it's picking up more light by not closing the bottom of that door, shall we say. And then, of course, you have to filter them, which I'm not going to really do. Sometimes you need to leave it out, just part of it. Curves that. And then I'll do that little dip as I showed you in the male. So it kind of drops down, goes up, drops down, goes up, and drops down like that. See, you're rushing. And then I don't take the lip all the way to that side. I kind of like right here, underneath of it, like that. And then I'll shape the rest of it. You have your temple that goes in, your cheekbone that comes out, and then you go to that shape. So it's going to go in here, out, and then it goes into that shape. Your ear, her ear, that's the little centerpiece right there. And I'll bring it up, and it all depends on how big the picture is, if you want to do all that extra detail, because if you're doing a comic book, you're going to lose it in translation anyway. So we have this whatever this thing is. I don't know why I can't say that. Eyelashes. And right now I'm just drawing fast because time's sake. And then I was going to something else with this, something else. I don't know what that something else was. You have that. You can do a little bit of the nose, but as I said, the more lines you put on the female, the more you're going to mess it up. The neck, which is going to come sloping into the shoulders like that. And her hair, find you a hair book to find out hairdos, hairstyles. Another Jim Lee thing, I had stopped drawing for a while because I kept getting rejected at the cons, And then I saw Jim Lee came out. You know, when he came out, I saw his stuff, and he would always put the like the hair covering part of the eye. And I'm like, oh, I like that. I like that. So I kind of like stole that. So, and the fact that, you know, I'm not a real hair designer. Put the hair above the head. Don't put it flat on the head. So I just kind of like let my pencil flow when I'm doing hair. Little hair in the face. It just kind of, to me, it looks good. A little, you get the women's hair in the face. And I'm sniffling. And after I finish this video, I'm going to take some NyQuil and knock myself out for a midday nap. So usually the hair, you know, and the eyes will make the woman. I could have made her more prettier, you know, but this was kind of a rush job. 37. I was going to say something important. But let me, before we go to the next one, I pull this guy off. This is the face. Okay, I can't think right now because my brain is on there. Now, I'm gonna do some upshots and show you kind of by using the same measurement how you can do it as well and have it look right. But a lot of people don't do upshots because it's hard for them and they can't get it right. You'll see like your straight shot and you see your like three-quarter view, and we're going to do a three-quarter view next, probably in the next video, because this is like 40 minutes and I want to let it go at that. So again, I'm going to mess her up. I need to keep her for camera. Did you just blur on me? I don't know. I think I'll just draw another two faces for, what do you call that? Not the screenshot, whatever. So, okay, so I'm gonna mess her up. Don't put a lot of lines in, because if you do that, you know, she just got older. Wrinkles, older. Around here, older. So I'm turning her into your grandma, somebody's grandma. You know, give her a little chin line. Give her a couple more wrinkles. I keep forgetting to do this little piece. This doesn't make you older. This is just it's extra skin that yeah. Where's the guy at? Is that the guy? I thought he was bigger. Anyway, this is just gives a more realistic look. He's an old man now. I forgot I just put lines all on him too. So yeah, the less lines you put on a face, the younger the face is going to look. And I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm just doing it. Some lip color, but she's old now. She's an old lady, so she's got those streaks of gray in her hair now. So yeah, 39 minutes. I want to keep these at least 30 minutes. And we're going to do the three-quarter and the upshot in the next video. So yeah, I'm back. I want to figure out this camera because I'm really not liking this color that I'm seeing. Maybe in editing, it'll be better. So anyway, just remember those, you know, try that, you know, versus trying to do this or this. And realistically, if you're doing a small book, again, your face, you won't, you know, at angles as well, that half doesn't always work. So yeah. All right, that's going to be it. I'll see you guys in the next video.